right, hello and welcome to Double Play Sports. I'm James alongside Pat. Welcome to episode 38 of our podcast. We're joined today by former MLB All-Star Jair Jurrjens. How you doing today?
How you doing, guys? It's an honor to be on your show and keep up the good work, my man.
Yeah, we're super happy to have you. So, first question I have for you.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you grew up in Curacao. How different is the baseball culture in Curacao from the U.S., and how did it help you grow as a player?
Oh, the different is more about how many games we play. I think the passion here and there, I want to say it's not on the same level, but it's not far from each other. Baseball is a way to get off the island, a way to produce for your family, and I think seeing big league games growing up and having our first superstar like in Andrew Jones, like I think opened the doors for a lot of kids down there and wanted to make baseball their job and their dream job.
Yeah, now there's like 10 or 15 guys in the league right now who are from Curacao, so that's awesome.
Yeah, like we produce a lot of players, and there's a lot in the minor leagues coming. There's a lot of guys still, a lot of young kids on the island working to become the next generation of Curacao baseball players.
So you would end up signing with the Tigers at just 17 years old. How was that experience for you, and what was the experience like starting life in the minors at such a young age?
The blessing that a lot of Curacao players have or kids, we most of us we go home and practice. And when I was working to become a pro myself, Kelly Jensen's older brother was signed with the Braves at that time, and we played together growing up, and being around him and working out with him before I become a pro helped me see the lifestyle of a pro player. And when I signed, there was a mutual friend of us, at least from Aruba, he was signed too, that he become a roommate. Then I was like, I had a babysitter in a way that helped me get through my first couple of months, especially getting used to like waking up early, being professional, be on time, and and I can say I was lucky to have good guidance straight up from right out after signing.
Yeah, absolutely. So then coming up through the minors, you were seen as a top prospect for a lot of your minor leagues career and
Mm-hmm.
prior to your debut. How do you deal with the pressure of like the media talking about you and the expectations set out for you?
Actually, in a way, back in the days, we didn't have so much technology. There was no social media. Facebook was out, but it wasn't big like now. They had Baseball America, but you were able to hear the buzz like in your ears like every day, as all the players are that seeing these days. Then, but in a way, I was really focused on being a prospect. I just wanted to accomplish my dream. The one thing my dad taught me since a little kid, fame doesn't pay the bills. Then I really didn't worry about the how far or how high I was in the prospect list. I just wanted to become a big leaguer.
So you ended up making your MLB debut on
Mm-hmm.
August the 15th of 2007
Mm-hmm.
in Cleveland, and your debut marked significance as you were the first pitcher from Curacao to pitch in major leagues.
Mm-hmm.
What was your mindset going into your debut? And what was that like for you being a first?
Um, in a way, Detroit had a lot of coaches, and they had this mentor coach called Coach Peterson, and he took me out his wing and really like talked to me a lot. And he and our minor league director at that time always said, "Not everybody has two chances. Then when they open that door, make sure you jump in with a full body, don't leave one limb out." Then from hearing that at the first time, I started preparing myself like for my debut. Like I didn't want to be shocked by the crowd or the booing or all the trash talk they will do. And when I got there, I'm not gonna lie, I was not nervous. I know I belong here, and I just wanted to make sure I do a good job, and especially getting put in fire, being the only one game behind Cleveland at that time in the standing, then it was a great pressure and an honor in a way for the organization to trust me to give me that start to keep them in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a pretty awesome debut. So
Yeah.
then after that, you were traded to the Atlanta Braves October 29, 2007 for All-Star Edgar Renteria. What was your experience getting traded for the first time?
Um, it was first I was like heartbroken because being with Detroit, like you get to know a lot of people, and those guys becoming more your family and your own family. Then I was like a little bit sad that I'm not gonna be able to like see them again, because at that time I remember it was, like the phones was now with camera or there was no Instagram and all like in a way when you get traded back in the days, in a way you lose a lot of your friends. Um, I was getting traded to a team that I grew up watching, a favorite of my dad. Then when I called and told him you don't need to be two teams, he got excited, hang up the phone on me. like, but I got a call from Bobby, from the GM, and they made me feel at home from the beginning. And I just in a way, it's a dream come true to play for the team that you grew up watching and the favorite team of your dad.
So in April of 2008, you got to face off against fellow Curacao-born player Andrew Jones,
Mm-hmm.
and you ended up striking him out 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how was that for you? How's your relationship with Andrew, and how fun was it to face off against an international teammate?
Um, that actually was a historic day for Curacao. The story I heard after that even there was like a little league baseball games going, and every time Andrew came to hit, they stopped the game for everybody to be able to see the ABs. In a way, I just took it as another hitter. You know, knowing that he's from your own country, trying to put a little bit more on the fastball as possible. And, they have some bragging right. And no, me and Andrew has a good relationship. Not pro relationship. I know Andrew since I was a little kid. I'm a big brother and him play on the same team. I was a bad boy for that team then. I know him since he was growing up. He opened the door for everybody. So only thing I have for him is all the respect.
Yeah, and so when I was reading into that, it seemed like there was an interview before the game where you were talking a little bit of smack to get the exciting stuff going. So were you really hyping up? Were you trying to get like razz up Andrew a little bit?
It's not that. It's just I was trying to you know, show Curacao that we're doing something big right now. It's the first time a Curaçaoan pitcher and a Curaçaoan hitter was facing each other, and it's an honor to be able to make history, especially when you can say one of the biggest players come from Curacao,
Yeah.
and to be part of that history is like it's a dream come true. You know what I mean? Every time I can put my island on the map and do something positive, I'm down for it.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing I gotta ask is,
Yeah.
how do you think Curacao will feel? Because I think one day it's got to happen soon. Andrew's got to get into the Hall of Fame. He's one of the best guys not in there right now. So how
Yeah.
do you think what impact will that have on Curacao?
Oh man, it's like in the way it just keep making the dream bigger for the kids back home. You know what I mean? From coming from a small island, and be able to be named one of the best of a game, is something like I don't think it's word to describe what it would do for Curacao, but he deserved it. He's one of the best ever. Even playing against him and be able to play with him on the national team, you can see the special talent that he bring in and out for 15, 20 years he played. And one day for sure somebody's gonna realize that he has the numbers.
Mhm.
Definitely has the number to be with the greatest one. But for Curacao, it's gonna be another step, another step to open doors for young kids and keep bringing more scouts over there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So then in 2008, your first full season, you finished third place in the Rookie of the Year voting.
Mhm.
Was there a teammate or a coach that helped you excel the most in your rookie season?
Um, Definitely Tim Hudson. Tim Hudson took me to my first year, took me under the wings. Really helped me out. Brian McCann, another veteran. Um, I think I think the Braves were making a transition at that time for a lot of young guys. Then definitely we didn't have a lot of leaders like usually in the past. Like Smalls was there, but he was hurt, and then he was really with the team. But Huddy and Brian really took me on the wing, and I just tried to follow and listen and keep working and keep getting better day by day.
Yeah, that was definitely a very young Braves team, especially the
Yeah,
pitching staff.
100%.
Um, so in 2009, you ended up posting a very impressive 2.60 ERA.
Hmm.
And after dealing with some injuries in 2010, you ended up making the 2011 All-Star game.
Hmm.
All-Star roster was stacked in 2011, and how did it feel to be in that clubhouse and make your first All-Star team?
Oh man, is I think after making it to the big leagues, I think the next step is being an All Star, and the next step is going to the playoff. The next step is being a world champion, World Series champion. Um, I think those first 2 years, I really was trying to be a All Star, adjusting, and I got this question at the All Star, like, what can you say to your success of this year? So, like, the only thing I can say was in 2011, I got a little more run support, and I was able to win more games. Because if you see the other 2 years, 3 years, I had a good record going in the All Star break, but I didn't have enough wins, and that's something that a starting pitcher cannot stress about or worry about, because our job is really not to win the game; is giving the team a chance to stay in the game and be able to get a W at the end of the game. Then 2011 was just a special first half. I got a run support, and I was able to minimize the other team to score, and it just was a special run. I was in my zone, and everything was coming easy to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So then next year, from 2012 on, you played for 6 MLB organizations for the rest of your
Mm-hmm.
career. During the rest of your career and your whole career, what was your favorite ballpark to play in?
Um, Oof, there was a lot of. I was lucky enough to play in a lot of those stadiums that's not in service anymore, like Shea. Um, I was in the old stadium in Miami that's changed so many names. I was even there. Um, Colorado was cool. Colorado was cool. Definitely the New York stadiums. You gotta put them in. Um, what else? Bush was cool because just the history. Wrigley, Boston. It's just like it's hard to put a one stadium because when you play in so many like historic stadium, it's hard to really pick one because most all the stadium has one great story, and for me, I think I need to put all of them. You know, to put a step on a big league stadium field is like it's a dream come true.
So, during your career, who would you
Hmm.
personally say was your toughest hitter to face, the toughest at bat for you?
Wow. Surprisingly, like Willie Harris. Willie Harris had my number till one day I just give up and throw a pitch down the middle that he almost hit it out. And after I got him out for the first time, it became a little bit easier. Um, David Wright, Henry Ramirez, I think from the biggest name I faced, he had my number because he was ambush guy. Then I'll throw a lot of strike. And I think he got me, I want to say 4 times. Like a couple was like leading off a game. you know I'm gonna throw a strike, then he was always ready for my fastball.
There's some very impressive names there. So then
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about some international play. So you played on the World Baseball Classic team in 2006 and 2017,
Mm-hmm.
playing alongside superstars from Curacao and the Netherlands. What is
Mm-hmm.
the environment playing with a team of super talented players from across the world?
The advantage we got going from Curacao, that we all grew up together. You know what I mean? I grew up, or Jonathan Scope, Anderson, Simmons, Provar, all these guys grew up watching me play. Simmons, DD, Provar was on the same organization back home. Jonathan Scope always used to like go on trip with me and his older brothers that we play little league tournaments. And in a way, that's why the Dutch team is so special. And there's like we really know each other from babies to now, and when we get on the field, we push for on each other, and it's like a brotherhood. Like you play like you might face a pitcher, but you're facing all 30 players on the team. You know, it's that's a special bond from the Dutch team.
So then, pitching in the World Baseball Classic
Mm-hmm.
against players from so many different countries, the style of play can differ from opponent to opponent.
Mm-hmm.
What's that like, and how do you adapt to that?
You know, you stick to your strengths, and you just make adjustment for what the hitters are showing you, and you make adjustment with the score, you make with the environment, you know, in a way you can change a lot, you know, because they still gotta show you that they can adjust to you. Now when they adjust to you, you gotta adjust to what they're adjusting to. You know, it's like it's baseball is baseball. You know what I mean? Yeah, everywhere you play is the same run ball, same distance, same empires, you know, and it just like you gotta go with the information that the players are showing you.
Absolutely. So then you're in the pitcher pool this year for the
Mm-hmm.
Netherlands. Obviously, this is the return after a little bit because of COVID. What are you most looking forward to about the World Baseball Classic this year?
You know, it's just that we last couple of two tournaments, we've been getting to the semifinals, or yeah, semifinals, and not be able to get the big wins again in the big game. Then are we rooting for my boys to see if we can pass that hurdle? You know what I mean? And try to make some dream come true for little kids again in Holland and Aruba and Curacao, and show them that if you put your heart to something, everything is possible.
All right, so the next and final section we want to do with you is something
Mm.
we like to call rapid fire. So we're
Okay.
gonna quickly through some fun questions. Pat, you
All
want to
right.
get started?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
First up, who was your favorite player as a kid?
David Justice.
Okay. Who is, in your eyes, the greatest baseball player of all time?
Who guys? Whoa. Um. mm, That's a tough one. Tough one. Tough one. Too tough. Can't come back to that one. I'll come back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that one.
we'll circle
Come
back.
back to it.
All right.
Right now, who do you think is the face of baseball?
Mike Trout.
And what was your hype up song during your career?
DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled.
Okay.
How you grinding?
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So we got to come back to it, Jair. Who's your goat, man? The people want to know.
My goat. Whew, like from watching, like growing up, watching was Ken Griffey Jr., right? But when you hear the history of baseball, I don't know if Ken Griffey is still the GOAT. You know, there's a lot of Hank Aaron's one, Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Roger Maris. Like, you know, there's a lot of guys you gotta give it. But for me growing up, like watching Ken Griffey.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
a good answer. That's a good answer. Gotta respect
Mm.
that. Well, Jair, thank you so much for coming on. We had a great time talking with you, man.
I appreciate you guys inviting me on your show. Keep the
Yeah,
good work, man.
super happy to have you, and good luck to the Netherlands. And
Thank you.
hopefully we'll get to see you in a game at some point.
I hope so, my man. Appreciate it.
And love to your family and friends. And
Thank you, man.